All right, so to continue, we are dividing using long division. So again, we're going to start by writing our division bar. First number goes on the inside, so x cubed plus 3x squared minus x plus 2. Second piece, so what we're dividing by, goes on the outside. And again, we're going to think of it in terms of multiplication. So what can we take times x to get x cubed? So that's going to be x squared, so that goes up at the top. And then we distribute. X squared times x is x cubed. X squared times -1 is negative x squared. And we're subtracting, so that means that we're going to change our signs and combine the like terms together. So this becomes negative, positive. That cancels. 3x squared plus x squared is 4x squared. Bring down the next term, start the process all over again. So what do we take times x to get 4x squared? It's going to be a positive, so plus 4x. So now we're distributing. 4x times x is 4x squared. 4x times -1 is negative 4x. We subtract, so we're switching our signs. So negative, positive, combined together. So that cancels. Negative x plus 4x is 3x. Next term comes down. Start our process over. So what do we take times x to get 3x? So that's going to be a positive 3, so that goes at the top. And then we distribute. So 3 times x is 3x. 3 times -1 is negative 3. We're subtracting, so we flip our signs, so negative, positive, combined together. First ones cancel. 2 plus 3 is 5. So there's nothing left to bring down. 5 is smaller than x because there's nothing that we can take times x to get 5. So this is our remainder. So our final answer to this problem is x squared plus 4x plus 3, remainder 5. Final answer. And we do have to be careful. You can't combine the 5 and 3. So when we're writing it like this, we're shortening what the remainder is. But remember that the remainder is a fraction because we're dividing. So this actually means the same thing as saying x squared plus 4x plus 3 plus our number that we got for the remainder divided by what we're dividing into. So the x minus 1. Okay. So that's why we don't combine those together. Okay. All right, let's do another example. Okay. So again, 9x cubed goes on the inside, minus 18x squared minus x plus 2. Okay. And then we have 3x plus 1. So what can we take times 3x to get 9x cubed? Well, 3 times 3 would give us 9, and then x squared times x will be x cubed. So again, that goes above, and then we distribute. So 3x squared times 3x will be 9x cubed. 3x squared times 1 is a positive 3x squared. We're subtracting, so we flip our signs, so these both become negative, and then we're combining them together. So first ones cancel. Negative 18x squared plus a negative 3x squared is negative 21x squared. Next one comes down. So what do we take times 3x to get negative 21x squared? That's going to be negative 7x, and we distribute. So negative 7x times 3x is negative 21x squared. Negative 7x times 1 is negative 7x. We're subtracting, so our signs are going to change. So these both become positive, and then we combine together. So that cancels. Negative x plus 7x will be 6x. Next term comes down. So what do we take times 3x to get 6x? So that's going to be a positive 2. Distribute. So 2 times 3x is 6x. 2 times 1 is 2. Change our signs, so they both become negative, combine together. So that cancels, that cancels. So this time we have a remainder of 0. So our answer would be 3x squared minus 7x plus 2. All right, one more example. Now when we look at this next example, you should notice that it's missing a squared term. So in all the other ones, it went down by each 1 power every time. So we had the cube term, the quadratic, the linear, and then our constant. Same thing, we had the cube term, the squared term, the linear term, then the constant. This one is missing the squared term. So that means that we need to add in a 0 placeholder. So we need a 0 placeholder for all, so if there's more than one, we need it for all missing terms. Okay, so that's very important that you remember. Otherwise, when you start your division process, your columns aren't going to align nicely, and it's really easy to get lost in your work. Okay. So when I write this, we're going to have our cube term, and then I'm going to say plus 0x squared, so that's my 0 placeholder, and then everything else is going to be the same. So minus 13x minus 12. And then x minus 4 goes on the outside. And now we're just going to divide like normal. So what would we take times x to get x cubed? So that's going to be x squared, so that goes at the top. Distributing, x squared times x is x cubed. X squared times negative 4 is negative 4x squared. Flip our sign, so negative, positive, and then we're combining together. So first ones cancel. 0x squared plus 4x squared will be 4x squared. So again, if we didn't have that 0 placeholder, we would have this term underneath the 13, but we can't combine those together. So that's why we're putting that 0 placeholder in. And then we bring down that next term. So what do we take times x to get 4x squared? So this is going to be a positive 4x, and then we're distributing. 4x times x is 4x squared. 4x times negative 4 is negative 16x. Subtracting, so we flip our sign, so negative, positive, combined together. So that's going to cancel. Negative 13x plus 16x will be a positive 3x. Bring down the next term. 12. So what do we take times x to get 3x? So positive 3. So now we're distributing. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. Flip our signs. So that cancels, so we have a remainder of 0 again. So this is x squared plus 4x plus 3 as our final answer.